All right, y'all. So we're back for day 2 of little talks right now. Again, starting off kind of slow, just easing my way into this, and just bounce off from yesterday. What we're talking about is me fixing my own depression and anxiety issues, and if anybody else has similar issues, we fix them together. Or even you can teach me something, I can teach you something. Pretty simple stuff. So I guess we'll start from the beginning. I always used to get bullied a lot when I was a kid, and it definitely affected me. I got made fun of my teeth. I had crooked teeth. Growing up, my parents were just too poor to get them fixed by braces. So I always got bullied by the kids, and it definitely affected me because it's just one of those things. And yeah, I didn't get my teeth fixed until I was 18 when I got the job at the Walmart distribution center, and I was able to facilitate that with yeah, making some funds and paying for them for myself. And dude, once I got them fixed, it improved my like mental status so well. I remember walking around and getting my like I would be like this. Like it just felt so good that moment of just sheer relief of getting that anxiety just went away. I could smile and be happy, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like getting people's teeth fixed would be much cheaper, much more widely available to anybody who needs it. With that being said, I got gynecomastia when I was 16. I was basically going through puberty, and it's a where your testosterone and your estrogen is not in balance essentially when you're going through puberty, and it causes fat glandular tissue to build up, and the only way to get rid of it is surgery. And I got that when I was like 16, so that bothered me too. That was like a self confidence issue, and I know that there's a lot of guys out there that deal with that. I know you guys do because I see it. Guys will have it, myself included, and I still want to get surgery for it. It's definitely on the to do list. And I got mine natural from 16, so it sucks. And you can get them through other things like doing steroids and things of that nature. But getting it naturally really sucks because it's what you're born with, and you don't feel masculine. People will make fun of you. I got bullied for it, and there was nothing I could do about it. It was literally the body I was given, and it's one of those bugaboos I don't like, and I wish we could make that cheaper to fix, or just fix some of the issues with bodies, bodies and hormones. What I'm getting at is for anybody who's watching this who's has like gynecomastia or anything like that. Trust me, I feel your mental anguish when you just walk around and you'll see guys slumped over and they don't like talking about it. They're self conscious about it. Trust me, they are, because I was and still am. I still don't like it, but it's the body I got. Until I'm able to fix it, it's what I got to deal with. I've seen guys let it cripple them, like mentally, because you're not a masculine guy, I guess you would say, and that sucks. Nobody likes to talk about it. You have to feel like you have to wave around in silence. Like guys will wear shirts at the beach or keep clothes on just because they don't want other people to see them, and it's such a sad thing because I know what it feels like. You just don't feel comfortable in your own skin. But at the end of the day, that's what you were given, right? And I'm just happy I'm still alive. I'm still alive another day. I still have a full head of hair. I got a beard. So I really don't, I can't complain too much about it. And, but yeah, the surgery is like, they can cost anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000, somewhere around, depending on how bad yours is. Mine is like a normal. But yeah, it's one of those things I never really talk about, but it definitely has bothered me. It really has. And am I going to get surgery for it? If I can afford it, yes, because that would be awesome. But in the meantime, no. So, yeah, I don't know. I have other things wrong with my body. I've had a lot of injuries that I've had to overcome. I've broken this collarbone when I was young. My knee, I've had arthroscopic surgery on it, and I tore, I believe, 70% of the cartilage on the left side of my right kneecap, and also chipped a dime-sized piece off my right kneecap. I still have that somewhere. And I tore my meniscus. So I was on crutches for like 4 or 5 months, something like that. I think it was about 4 months. But anyway, still have problems with it to this day. I've had a hernia in my lower left quadrant. It was a fat-containing cord lymphoma that I just got recently fixed. Now I feel like I got a small one on the right side, which even sucks. Just had surgery on this shoulder. Got 5 bolts in it, or anchors. I tore my labrum, dislocation tear, and rotor cuff repair as well. It wasn't a complete tear, it was just a partial on the rotator cuff. Nonetheless, trust me, I've lost a lot of muscle, and just from not being able to do exercises. But getting back to it, and I will eventually get to that point where I'm exercising, just taking you guys along. Again, this channel is for anybody and for anybody who just wants to talk about their own self-worth, you know, talk about your issues, talk about my issues, and we fix each other together, I guess you would say, because I'm far from perfect. Trust me, I am. But the goal is to do better, you know, address your own issues and do better. Put your big boy pants on, or big girl pants on, or big couch pants, whatever you identify as, and we can fix each other together. I know that sounds pretty weird, but you can, you know, and that's the best thing to do. Is it starts with people just becoming open about their own feelings and their spirituality, or whatever you want to call it. It's just accepting that into your heart, and the good part of that is breaking yourself down and understanding that you make mistakes. I make mistakes. Yes, you right there. And it's perfectly fine. I feel like ever since I've had this hard right turn in spirituality, where I was right on the borderline of believing, and now I'm like a full-blown believer, and trust me, after what I experienced, God is definitely real in my life. We just can't fathom it because of our brains. And, yeah, a lot. I've had a spontaneous pneumothorax, so I collapsed a lung when I was bench pressing. I was only doing like 135 pounds. So, yeah, not even a cool story. However, somebody's cooking something wonderful. God, it smells good. Also, let's see what other injuries I've got. Man, I've had a lot. I've had a lot of little aches and bruises. My hand right here, I don't know if you can see the scar going up into my pinky. My pinky don't really work right. I've had to have 2 surgeries on that. I cut my ligament with a samurai sword. Yeah, you can make fun of me. It's okay. It's a true story too. And when I cut myself with a samurai sword, I was at a knife convention or knife shop, and I picked it up and it fell out of the sheath, and I just kind of like that, and I grabbed it real quick. And but yeah, that happened, and I sliced the tendon, and my pinky didn't work for like a month, and I did the typical guy thing. And I was like, I'm just gonna let this sit because I don't want to bill. And then I finally was like, something's definitely wrong. Went to not the hospital, but doctor, and because I had waited so long, I had to have 2 surgeries. So, yeah, it's one of the things where I'm tired of waiting, and this is why I'm doing this YouTube thing. Is I've already waited long enough. I've let procrastination win. I've let my anxiety win, and yeah, I have to commit to this, and I have to do this, even if it's starting slow and working my way up. This is just how it's got to be. I'm working my way into this, and I think each one's going to get better, and hopefully we'll get a following together. But I think I can do some good in this world. I do. I believe that, and we can do it together. Okay. Let's see. Also on my left arm, my forearm, I've tore that muscle belly, racing Carl. And then I've broken this wrist. It's hard to see. Let me pull down my Jesus Saves band. But you can see where that's right there. Yeah, that's where that ligament attaches. And then you can see where the wrist itself is kind of bowed out. And that is, I broke my wrist when I was, I fell off I was playing basketball or something, and had fallen off or fallen down and hit the court, and yeah, I just broke it. Yeah, I got this cool band from I don't know if you can see it. It says Jesus Saves, and I gotta admit, for people who, obviously, I've never been like super spiritual. I've always been right down the middle, right? So didn't believe in God, but I definitely believe there could be a higher power. And what I mean by that is, it, how do I put this? So if you had like a 0 to 100 scale, I was like 50, 55 on like there's a God, and then 45% science. And the reason why I said it is science says, the Big Bang created everything from nothing in a split second. But at the same time, science says you can't create anything out of nothing, right? So that right there is contradictory. But yeah, I would say in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've just been getting real subtle things happening, and then there's been a few big things, and that was like, there are eye-opening experiences for me where I wasn't intoxicated, okay? I wasn't anything abnormal. I was completely sober mind, okay? And by myself, and I would think about like, all right, well, I was like, all right, let's try this praying thing. And, I'd close my eyes and I would say something, and then I would get a warm, fuzzy feeling all over my body. And happening right now, to be honest, a little bit. And it feels like a warm, fuzzy internal hug. I don't know how to describe it, but to sit there and deny it is kind of ignorant in my eye, if that makes sense, because it was happening so intensely to me. It's almost like I was going the wrong direction, and it was like, hey, what are you doing? Wake up, wake up. And yeah, and it's for me itself is just hard, and let alone trying to explain it to other people. And man, I've gone from like a 55% believer to a 100% believer in God. And to anybody who's like, that's weird, that's perfectly fine. That is your opinion, and I wish you the best. I do. It's one of those things there. Yeah, to be in my position personally, I'm sure this has happened to other people plenty of times, plenty. And but yeah, my position is weird. It is. I can't sit here and deny that when I'm by myself, not intoxicated, not anything, just sober as a bird, and I get those feelings. I can't deny that. It's really hard, and yeah, I don't know. I'll open more up about it as maybe people feel like that time is there for them to possibly do these things. But yeah, I don't know. Again, so I think we're keeping these first few just a little short. However, I am into, I love stuff with sound, frequency, magnetism, light, all that stuff. I really do. I love electricity in a weird way. I've always been drawn to audio. And we're going to start talking about some math and science stuff tomorrow. And so what I'm working on right now is I'm working on a Coral Castle, I guess you would call it a hypothesis. Okay? So, and what I mean by that is I think I believe what Ed Lee Scallon, for those who people are familiar with Coral Castle in Florida, if you're not, just Google it. There's big mystery behind it. I think he was actually doing it. I think he was manipulating things that we are not aware of. Again, it's a hypothesis. I have not built anything. But I believe it's a good hypothesis, and I'm going to give a good layout tomorrow of it and see what you guys think. But it's one of them things where I feel like this is what God wants, and man, something smells wonderful. But yeah, for those people who are wondering, it's like, oh, he's become all religious and spiritual. Trust me, I didn't see this coming at all. If anything, I would say this hit me hard out of right field, and it was like God literally took the steering wheel and was like, what are you doing? It was that hard of a transition. It really was. But man, I've had some nights where I've literally like broke down, like crying by myself, and I'm like, this has got to be real. I mean, to have these weird things happening to me. Yeah, yeah. It even like I had a nice moment with my parents the other day, and my parents and I never gotten along. I guess you'd call it like religiously or spiritually. And the other day, like I don't know. This has all been happening to me so hard. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get with my parents and repent for my sins, and ask Jesus or ask God for forgiveness about everything I did. I'm not a bad person, but I've lied, I've cheated, not cheated on spouses or anything like that. I'm talking about like like tests and things of that nature, or manipulated things to have a better outcome. And it's one of those things that everybody does it. It's just human nature, okay? And to address those issues in a public eye is really hard to do. It's hard for me to do, and it's hard for anybody to do. To really sit there and break down yourself on public camera and be like, these are your issues. This is my issues. This is how I'm addressing them. Hopefully, this will spur a positive thing for some people, even if it's just a few people. Hey, that's what matters, right? And at this time, I feel like that could happen. I do. I feel like we can help each other. And even then, it's like if anybody wants to come on here and talk or whatever, we'll set up podcasts. I don't care. I don't care how we do this thing. But I want to get into some ancient culture stuff. And yeah, I think it's time to start talking about a lot of these things that people either are like not wanting to open the eyes about or not. I'm not quite sure. But there's a lot more to this place than I think we're being informed. We'll go with that. Food? No, no, no. Okay. So I'm getting called for food right now, so I'm cool with that. Food. But yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and cut this one short. But yeah, so tomorrow we're going to start going over Coral Castle stuff, hopefully, and yeah, more spiritual stuff. I know you guys probably don't want to hear that for those who aren't spiritual, and that's perfectly fine. I respect your view. I'm not going to absolutely like preach you or anything like that. But I feel like this is a great way to help spread positivity and just that power of light, just to be happy, not sad and depressed. And it just, crap sucks. Stress be stressful, guys. And yeah, I think this is going to be a good thing. I really do. So hopefully this goes well and yeah, spread some of that happiness around. All right. Bye, y'all.